Hey everyone, it's Michael GoosebumpsFan. I hope you're doing well today. I'm trying to keep my voice low. My wife is working in the other room once again. And anytime I'm filming right here, it's probably that's probably the case. Unless it's a weekend or something. Anyway, so this morning, for whatever reason, I could not get to sleep. I woke up at like 9:30, somewhere in there. And I'm one of the types where if I wake up like even an hour or an hour and a half, I get up at 10:30 usually. If I ever wake up like an hour or so before I have to get up, I can't go back to sleep. And I didn't go to bed early last night. I went to bed at 3 o'clock because I work second shift. I get off at midnight. And so I came in, hung out with my wife for a while, had a great talk about all kinds of stuff. And because we just like to talk. We're that kind of couple. And I go to bed, and I wake up at like 9 or 9:30, somewhere in there. And I tried my best to go back to sleep. So anyway, I got up this morning and decided I'd bum rush, just find something to do. And I decided to read the rest of the book I'm currently going to review in this video, and that is Goosebumps, an old classic, original 90s Goosebumps book. Number 32, The Barking Ghost. I told you guys a couple of videos ago, about a week ago, when I reviewed the Ghost Dog Howls, that I was going to review this, because I wanted to review the two Ghost Dog books kind of together. They're not related to each other at all. They're completely different. Completely different. This is one of the ones when I was a kid, that when I went to elementary school, I'd go to the library in school when I got into Goosebumps in like the early 2000s, late 90s, and I would pick up different books and see the ones on the shelf, and I would see the really cool covers like Attack of the Jack-O-Lanterns, Night of the Living Dummy, 1, 2, and 3, Haunted Mask 1 and 2, and this kind of book. But then there were books like Why I'm Afraid of Bees. I was like, that looks stupid. I'm not going to watch that or read that, whatever. And I wouldn't pick it up. So this is one of the ones I've been looking at this for a long time. I love the cover. I love that picture of the dog that Tim Jacobus drew. It's so cool looking, but the title, and not really the cover, just really the title, is a total, like, ripoff, honestly. So I really enjoyed the book until about 90 pages in. And it's about 120, 118, something like that. And I'll be honest with you. It was really solid. I was enjoying it. It was a fun, enjoyable read. And then that last 30 pages of the book, after the first 90, just crashed and burned horribly. As another note, in the midst of this video, if you hear a lot of like noises, this is one of two things. You'll either hear let me try that again. You'll either hear stomping from upstairs, because I don't know what's happening. They have big dogs. Big dogs in our apartment complex. But number two, there's some kind of wind happening today. It's super warm and hot outside, but it's like there's wind, and it's not cold, there's no chill to it, it's weird. Anyway, been reading this morning, finished it, and I enjoyed it, like I said. Basically, also, I found these two little things here. Some kid was coloring these, apparently back in the day, and some kid put them in the back of the book. So I guess I have new bookmarks. I don't know, I'll use them. I don't know who the kid was. I don't know where I got this from, it came offline. As you can see, I got it from Thrift Books. Got the little sticker on the spine they always put, and damage my books all the time. Thrift Books, stop doing that. Anyway, I have a couple of bookmarks now, I guess, to use. It's really weird using some kids' bookmarks I've never seen before or met, but they're there. So if it happens to be you, you're welcome. Publicity. Anyway, so the book starts off after like 5 minutes of rambling. Basically, I have a kid in this book called The Barking Ghost named Cooper, and he and his family are from the city. They just moved to a house out in the woods. Yeah, like deep woods. Not swampy territory, not like you can't scare me or anything like that. Just, it's in the woods, it's kind of secluded. There are not any houses nearby. There are like miles between houses, which is nice. It's the kind of thing I like. But people can be nice too, but usually they're not these days. So I don't know what Cooper's complaining about. He had to leave some friends behind and stuff. He's really sad about that. And he has an older brother who always picks on him. His older brother's named Mickey, and he is just plumb relentless, dude. The whole book, he's so just evil and mean to this main character kid. And they just can't stand each other. Now, the main character, Cooper, he gets scared all the time. He's a scaredy cat. He stays terrified of stuff all the time. And the dude just can't handle anything. If you do a jump scare in a video game, the kid's skin's gonna probably fall off. He can't handle it. So his brother Mickey messes with him all the time. His brother Mickey's like, I think it's at 16 or 15, something like that. He's a couple of years older than him. And he will mess with our main character all the time. A lot of the book is filled with that. Now, in this book, the main character starts to hear a lot of howling and stuff outside of his house. So he assumes there's a dog or something out there. And at some point, he's kind of like, why are there dogs? There's no people living around here. I guess there's no such thing as wild dogs in this world. What? So anyway, he assumes that there's probably some kind of house that he doesn't know deeper in the woods. And one day he just kind of decides, okay, I'm going to go out in the woods and start looking around for these dogs. And sometimes even the howling kind of sounds like it's coming from inside of his house. And he doesn't really understand what's happened with that because they don't have any dogs. It's just the four of them. The main character, his brother Mickey, and the mom and dad. Now the main character goes out in the woods and kind of wanders around. He finds some streams and stuff, and that's pretty cool. Comes across a couple of the dogs. So again, the cover is not really a rip-off. The title kind of is. It's just called The Barking Ghost. There's 2 dogs in here. Why is there 2 dogs in here? Why do you have the title The Barking Ghost and there's 2 dogs? Just put The Barking Ghosts. That's all you had to put, was just put 2. Just put an S. That's all you had to do to fix the cover title. It's probably a typo if I had to bet on it, of all things. But how do you make that many typos, you know? Anyway, it's a rip-off, in my opinion. But I love the cover. The cover's the best thing about the whole book, honestly. Because when you get to that when you get to that last 30 pages, it's so horrible, and it ruined like the entire book for me, that it's like you never get over it. You know? So when our main character went out in the woods and he was looking around for those 2 dogs he heard howling around out in the woods, he decides to kind of wander around. Of course, he finds a couple of things, like I talked about, the stream and so on and so on. He happens to come across a girl named Margaret who basically freaks out in his face and is like, he kind of wonders if she's like schizophrenic. He doesn't say it, but that's what he was thinking. And that's what I was thinking. She's like freaking out about dogs and stuff. And these 2, her name is Margaret, or Fergie, something like that. She kind of goes by different names. Anyway, those 2 kind of become friends and hang out and stuff a little bit over time. And a lot of the book doesn't really have much of a plot to it. It's one of those Goosebumps books that doesn't really have a whole lot of plot. You Can't Scare Me is kind of like that. And You Can't Scare Me, I think, succeeds a lot better than something like this does. I don't mind the plotless Goosebumps books that just have a fun character set, or have a fun location to work with, or fun events happening, or scary things, or just humorous things. I don't mind that. Why I'm Afraid of Bees, I think, is kind of a little bit plotless, sort of, kind of. But books like this have a harder time taking off and doing well. And it's a thing that I struggle tremendously with in my own writing, is trying to maintain plot and trying to have a plot. I'm better with characters and writing and dialogue and that kind of stuff, descriptions. I'm not good with plotting, especially the second act. That always kills me. This book does so well, and honestly, I was really into it. I really dug this because that main girl, Fergie, that freaked out in the main character's face out in the woods telling about the dogs and stuff, which, mind you, he didn't know if anybody lived nearby. She claims she does, but he's kind of like, is she like a ghost or something? This girl, and that's not a spoiler either, this happens pretty early on in the book, like the first 30 pages or so. This girl says that his house that he just moved into and the whole woods are haunted. So there's that. The main character's scared of the dogs that may or may not be out there, the ghost dogs. The 2 of them that he comes across, he may or may not know if they're legitimate or not, if they're ghosts or not. Just kind of freaks him out. They have red eyes, of all things, like the cover, which is pretty cool. Again, the cover's the best thing about the whole book. And so I was with this book until, again, I've said it about 4 or 5 times now, the 90-page mark. The whole story just changes into something completely different, and it's bad. It's really, really bad. It's just, I had heard people like Spongy say down in the comments section of the previous book, The Ghost Dog Howls from the Horrorland series. I had heard him mention that he thought this was a big yikes, and dude, he was not kidding. This is a horrible one. This is like really bottom tier. Like, there's ones that I think are boring because there's nothing really fun about them. Like the first Monster Blood book. I love most Monster Blood books. That first one's a really rough one for me. And this one, it has so much going for it, and then again, it's kind of a plotless book, so it just kind of drops out from beneath itself. It's like if you had a box that wasn't taped up properly when you're moving your stuff into a new house and it just falls out. That's what it's like for me when it's reading this book. That last 30 pages, dude, it was horrible. And don't even get me started on the last chapter, dude. The last chapter, the big plot twist to end this on, it is so unbelievably awful. Like, I don't even have words for it. If I had the volume to be able to yell with my wife working in there, I can't do this, but if I were able to, you'd hear me probably mocking this at the loudness of my, whatever, my lungs, I don't know, my throat. I would be laughing extremely hard making fun of this. It's horrible. It's unbelievably bad. I don't even have words for it. I think if you have any excitement at all for this book, to read it because of the cover. If you're like me and grew up loving this cover and being excited to read this, and then 20 years later you finally read it, if that's you, lower your expectations. You are not going to be excited about this book. You're probably not going to like the book. I would be curious to see down in the comment section how many people say they like this. I know a lot of books that I end up not liking, that people will comment and be like, hey, I really like this one. I thought it was pretty good. That's fine, whatever. But I would be surprised to see how many people say they like this, because usually it's just the last chapter ruins books sometimes for me when it comes to Goosebumps. There's very few in the whole selection for the last, whatever it's been, 30 years or whatever it's been since Goosebumps has been released and been coming out since 92. It's almost been 30 years. Yeah. Wow, that's weird. Next year. So, a lot of people will contact me and be like, oh yeah, well, I really, really like this book. I'm fine with the ending, so on and so on. This book is like, it completely changes. Like, completely different. It's not good. It's really bad. This poor kid here, again, was so bored by it that he started making bookmarks for himself. 2 of them, for me. 30 years, 20 years, whatever, down the road. Anyway, when it comes to Goosebumps number 32, The Barking Ghost, covers the best thing. This book is terrible. It's terrible, terrible. I've really enjoyed a lot of stuff. The Ghost Dog Howls is a lot better than this. You can read that by itself without having to read the rest of the Horrorland series. It's part of Arc 2, where the books kind of stand alone, sort of, kind of. I recommend that way over this one. Way over this one. It ain't perfect, but it's better than this one. To see this cover for so long and to be kind of excited about it as I read it is really a bummer to sit down today and finish it and be like, oh, ooh, that was bad. If I had to rate The Barking Ghost on a 5-star basis, man, it really falls apart. And I really want to be nice to it. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 stars. I really enjoy this for the most part. And then that last, if it had been just the last chapter happening the way it happened with something different leading up to that in the last 30 pages, I think I could have possibly been like, I can kind of accept it, you know, and give it like a 3. But no, it's getting a 2 out of 5 for me. It is just complete. It feels like Stein didn't even write that last 30 pages to me. It doesn't feel like his kind of plotting. It doesn't feel like his kind of outlining or story ideas. I know he has his bad endings, especially nowadays with the Slappy World series. I know he can put together some bad endings sometimes. This is like, I don't even know what to compare it to. This is like putting marmalade on bread and being like, I wanted a peanut butter sandwich. Like, it's completely different, you know? It's ugh, it just doesn't work. Anyway, The Barking Ghost. What did you guys think about this? Let me know down below what you think about it. I am not a fan of this one. Whenever I get that one big video one day, well, the 2 big videos, the big classic, every single classic book review for the classic series of Goosebumps, and the every book ever ranked video that I'm working on over time, whenever those 2 videos are done, whenever I read all the books, get all those things done from either of those 2 videos collections, this one's going to be ranking pretty low. I'm not going to lie to you. This one's going to be pretty low down there. I was enjoying it so much, too. I hate to say that, but it's a rough one, man. Oh my god, I made a pun. It was terrible. A rough one. I'm going to go away now. Anyway, thank you for watching again. 2 out of 5 stars from me. Guys, thank you for your support and your love and being here on the channel. Thank you for all the new subscribers that are coming in and joining and subscribing and everything else. You guys rock. I'm really thankful for you. I'm thankful that God brought you here and that we get to have a little bit of a fun Goosebumps community, making fun of things and having fun times and stuff like with this video, and making puns, which are horrible and cringy, all kinds of stuff like that. Never edgy, just cringy. Anyway, what are your thoughts on Barking Ghost? I'd love to hear what you have to say about it down below. Thank you for being so patient with me this last couple of weeks. I've been so stretched thin with work and how busy I've been with training people at work and stuff. I haven't watched like any of the other Goosebumps YouTubers that have been uploading videos here lately. I haven't watched anything, like at all. I haven't watched a movie in like 2 weeks. So it's like, I've just been so busy all the time, even on Friday nights where I usually kind of sit down and relax and watch a Universal Monsters movie or something like that. I've been so busy, dude. I'm just exhausted. So forgive me with how my schedule for uploading has been so all over the place. I hope you enjoyed the Q&A video I did for today for April. You can go watch that as well if you want to. It's right before this video. This might be uploaded about, on the May 1st instead of, April 30th like today. But if it hasn't, I don't know what's going to happen. I might get this uploaded tonight when I get home from work, but I also get home at about midnight. So anyway, whenever you watch this, if you want to watch the Q&A, that's the previous video, so just click on the channel, go to that, and it should be there. Anyway, thank you for watching once again. Sorry about all the rambling in this video. I just miss you guys. I miss talking to you so much. I love you guys so much. I'm so thankful for all of you being here once again. God bless you guys. Have a nice weekend. Please be safe out there. We're going to do a little bit of traveling, not a whole lot, just a little bit of wandering around, but I'm going to read a Give Yourself Goosebumps book to cleanse my palate from the last couple of books being a little bit of a disappointment. Our bird feeders started hitting each other because of the wind. That was weird. It's kind of scary. Anyway, God bless you guys. Goodbye.